It was an extraordinary opportunity, an adventure that would forever be etched in my memory. The People's Republic of China beckoned, its government generously covering all expenses for two delegates to attend a 20-day official training program focused on town management. But this wasn't the typical classroom affair. It was an immersive experience that took us across diverse cities and towns, unraveling their glories, culture, economy, and governance. On that auspicious morning of May 15, 2008, we boarded a China Southern Airlines flight bound for Beijing. I was lucky to have the seat at the window side, as it afforded me breathtaking views. Our journey was direct, with a brief layover in Xiamen City. As we resumed our flights to Beijing, anticipation bubbled within me. What waited us in this ancient city? Beijing welcomed us with open arms. Our diplomatic passports eased our entry process, and soon we stood in the arrival area, met by the training staff. The weather was crisp, a blend of spring's farewell and summer's tentative arrival. Despite the chill, excitement warmed us. From the airport, we traveled about 1 hour and 15 minutes to the Beijing National Accounting Institute, the official training site. It was established in 1998 and operated as a government institution under the State Council, with oversight from the Ministry of Finance and Educational Management supported by Xiangsu University. In 2002, the institute was renamed Beijing National Accounting Institute by the Ministry of Finance. It serves as an advanced accounting education and training base for senior administrative staff and accountants across China, including those from government agencies, state-owned enterprises, financial institutions, and social organizations. While in Beijing, we stayed on the campus. Each participant was accommodated in a single room with complete amenities. Every day we were provided with oranges, apples, and pears. Most often, we dined at the cozy and spacious cafeteria where the food served was superb. Our schedules were light. On May 16, Friday, we had the opening program for an hour, followed by a banquet to get acquainted with fellow participants. Later, we attended a short lecture on socio-economic development in China. However, more often than not, we ventured beyond the campus. The following day, we embarked on a captivating tour of Tiananmen Square. There we encountered the imposing mausoleum of Mao Zedong and the awe-inspiring Palace Museum. After spending some time capturing the essence of the area through photography, we stepped in the Palace Museum itself. The experience was nothing short of incredible. Previously, I had only encountered these historical wonders in books or movies, but this time it felt surreal. Known as the Forbidden City, this ancient palace was once accessible only to members of the imperial household. Its vast land area covers 720,000 square meters, featuring 980 meticulously constructed buildings dating back to 1406 to 1420. Within its walls, over 1.8 million art pieces from the Ming and Qing dynasties are housed. In 2008, a staggering 3.36 million visitors explored this remarkable museum. Designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, the Forbidden City continues to captivate and inspire. Our journey led us 20 kilometers northeast of Tiananmen Square to the enchanting Summer Palace. This historical royal sanctuary, nestled amidst lush greenery, is renowned for its exquisite gardens, delicate pavilions, and the serene coming lake. Originally conceived as a summer retreat for the imperial family, it now stands as a testament to classical Chinese architectural design. Covering 2.9 square kilometers, The Summer Palace invites visitors to lose themselves in its timeless beauty, a harmonious blend of nature and human creativity. It was an incredibly productive day, and there is much to learn from this experience. We delved into the aspects of conserving national treasures and heritage, emphasizing the importance of the environment and nature, and understanding how these factors impact the people of Beijing and its community. After 2 days of social interaction with the training team and co participants inside the campus, we had the privilege to go out and explore the renowned Great Walls of China on Tuesday, May 20. It was an adrenaline rush to witness one of the seven wonders of the world. It wasn't just an experience, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, it left an indelible mark on our hearts as I witnessed its grandeur firsthand. On the same day, we explored another World Heritage Site, the Ming Tombs. These 13 tombs dedicated to the emperors during the Ming Dynasty cover a vast land area of approximately 120 square kilometers. The Dagong Gate marks the entrance to the tomb complex, and the sacred way leading to the tomb area is lined up with stone statues of animals, officials, and mythical creatures. These mausoleums were meticulously chosen based on Feng Shui principles, reflecting the ancient belief in harmony between nature and the afterlife. Situated on the southern slope of Tianshao Mountain, this site resonates with history and reverence. The following day, we delved deeper into town management in China, exploring its policies on land, economics, finance, and environmental protection. We also learned about the development of small and medium enterprises and socio-economic planning. What intrigued us most was the holistic view it provided, how the national government and local authorities synergize their efforts to foster local development. Our adventure continued on May 22, a Thursday. We set our sights on the Beijing Capital Museum, a mere 3 kilometers from the Beijing National Accounting Institute. Nestled in the heart of the Xizang district, this architectural gem spanned 24,832 square meters, rising 5 floors above ground and descending 2 floors below. Within its walls lay a treasure trove, a collection of 200,000 cultural relics from ancient China and other Asian civilizations. Each artifact whispered stories of dynasties, artistry, and human endeavor. As we wandered through its halls, we marveled at the delicate brush strokes of calligraphy, the intricate ceramics, and the timeless wisdom preserved in stone. After our enriching time at the museum, we proceeded to the site of the local government housing project. Along the way, we were greeted by lush flower plants lining the roads and highways. Their vibrant presence added an enchanting aura to the surroundings. These meticulously cared for plants were tended by the government. A plantarium or nursery had been established to raise, grow, and nurture ornamental and flower plants, ensuring that the greenery along the roads and highways remained fresh and vibrant. And then, we arrived at the site of the local housing project, an ongoing endeavor. The tenements stood elegantly, cozy, and comfortable to live in. Rows of clustered buildings surrounded a well-designed and spacious park, creating a harmonious blend of architecture and nature. Before concluding our day, the training team treated us to a renowned restaurant known for serving Beijing duck. We savored the best of Beijing's culinary offerings. Indeed, Chinese cuisine never fails to delight. Reflecting on the day's experiences, I marveled at the Beijing's tapestries of contrast, the ancient and the modern, the natural and the man-made. As the evening descended, the city transformed. The lights danced across the skyline, illuminating rows of skyscrapers that seemed to touch the heavens. It was a fruitful and experiential day, a canvas painted with memories that would forever color my perception of this vibrant city. The next day, May 23, Friday, we had the opportunity to tour the Olympic sites. Although we couldn't enter the renowned Bird's Nest Stadium and the Water Cube due to the ongoing constructions, we stood in awe from afar. The bird's nest, with its intricate lattice design, symbolized Beijing's global significance, a testament to its hosting of the 2008 Summer Olympics. The Water Cube, once a swimming arena, now stood as a beacon of architectural grandeur. This structure left an indelible impression, reminding us of Beijing's place on the world's stage. It was a productive day today, as we got to see other attractions of Beijing, not only the ancient ones, but also some of its modern architectures. It was such an amazing experience. Before we ended our activities and headed to the Accounting Institute, the training team brought us to a tea house that serves the best tea in Beijing. Beijing is a city steeped in tea culture, and its tea houses offer not only a delightful cup of tea, but also a chance to immerse yourself in traditional local experiences. Our weekdays were filled with insights and learnings that exceeded my expectations from the training course. So the next day, we had our time to rest, as we had only one day to go around Beijing by Sunday, May 25, before leaving for Xi'an City on Monday. On that serene Sunday, we unexpectedly found ourselves at the Temple of Heaven, even though it wasn't part of our written itinerary. The beauty of this ancient holy temple is indescribable. It truly feels heavenly. Dating back to the Ming Dynasty around 1420, it is the sole surviving Ming Tang building in Beijing. During the Qing Dynasty, emperors used it for sacrificial ceremonies and prayers, seeking bountiful harvests. The temple covers a vast land area of 2.73 square kilometers. It comprises these three major structures: the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest, the Imperial Vault of Heaven, the circular Mount Altar, and the Hall of Abstinence. After our temple adventure, we visited the Hongqiao Market, also known as the Pearl Market. Located in the Dongcheng district, this bustling market offers a wide array of accessories and apparel at affordable prices. Interestingly, the prices here are comparable to what we find in markets like Baclaran or Divisoria. Following our shopping spree, we headed back to the Accounting Institute early, allowing us more time to rest with our flight to Xi'an City the next day. We even enjoyed an early dinner at the cafeteria upon our arrival on campus. On May 26, Monday, we embarked on an unexpected trip to Xi'an City. Initially, I thought the training would only be in Beijing, as we weren't given the program in advance. However, I was grateful to learn about the visit to Xi'an City, where I would have the opportunity to see another renowned wonder, the Terracotta Museum. Our flight to the city took approximately 2 hours. Looking back on my time in Beijing, I realize I have absorbed a wealth of knowledge. Beijing, the heart of China, serves as a living history book, chronicling the nation's past, present, and future. It seamlessly blends infrastructure development with the preservation of national heritage, a testament to effective governance.